What's up, YouTube? It's Math Teacher Celia, your favorite online middle school math teacher. And in this video, I'm going to teach you all about the fundamentals of algebra. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Also ring the bell so you can get more notifications of more YouTube videos. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is what exactly a variable is and what an expression is. A numerical expression is a mathematical phrase with only numbers and operation symbols. So it's just a phrase, just an expression. So just 8 plus 5 minus 2. It is a mathematical phrase with numbers and symbols. So that's what we have here. Notice that there is no equal sign. That's why we call it an expression, because there is no equal sign. If there was an equal sign, then it would be called an equation. An algebraic expression is still a mathematical phrase with numbers and operations, and it also has one or more letters in it. Example, j minus 9. That would be an algebraic expression because it has a variable in it. These letters are called variables and they represent an unknown amount. It's an unknown amount because it could be anything. J could be 1, j could be 2, j could be 3, j could be an infinite amount of numbers. Since it's an infinite amount, we call it just a variable. When you evaluate an algebraic expression, that means you're given a certain amount or a specific amount for your variable. So to evaluate an algebraic expression, you're going to tell me what the value is. And you do that by substituting and solving. So you're going to substitute whatever value is given to solve. For example, if we were given evaluate 2 times x minus 8 for x equals 11, that means I want you to plug in 11 into the place of x. You're going to substitute 11 for x. I'm substituted in there. So this means it's going to be 2 times 11 minus 8. Still, we follow the order of operations, which says I multiply before I subtract. So when I multiply, I get 22 minus 8 equals 14. So our final answer is 14. This expression, 2 times x minus 8, that is equal to 14. Let's practice that. So I want you to take x and say it is equal to 7 and evaluate each one of these expressions. Okay, and here are the answers. Sometimes you need to find an unknown quantity, cost, or an amount, and you need to write the algebraic expression. So you can write an algebraic expression from the phrase that describes the unknown in this situation. For example, if you have a number m plus 45, the phrase for that would look like m plus 45. Or maybe it says the sum of m, a number m and 45. Again, it would still look like this, or 45 more than a number m. For subtraction phrases, you may see phrases like minus, so a number p minus 6, or the word difference means subtraction, so you would see the difference of a number p and 6, or 6 subtracted from a number p, or 6 less than the number p. For multiplication, you may see 4 times a number k. Again, when you write multiplication, you just put the number right next to the variable. Or you'll see the product of 4 in a number k. Again, they would look like this. For division, you would see words like quotient or divided by. So the quotient of a number z in 25, that would be z divided by 25, or written this way with the fraction bar, z divided by 25, or a number z divided by 25, z divided by 25. Let's write an expression to describe the relationship in these input-output tables. So the first input-output table, we have n as our input and a question mark for our output. So rather than put a question mark, we can put a number. We're going to figure out what number goes there. Let's write an expression to describe the relationship in the input-output tables. So if I have n and I want to know what I did to get to this number, all I'm going to do is follow the pattern in each pair of input and output. So here the input was 1 and the output was 3. Here the input was 4 and the output was 12. Here the input was 5 and the output was 15. So what are we doing consistently to each of these to get the number on the bottom? Well, if I do 1 plus 2, I would get 3, but that's not consistent. If I do 4 plus 2, I don't get 12, and 5 plus 2, I don't get 15. So it's not plus 2 because it has to be the same for everyone. So I could say, well, to go from 1 to 3, I can multiply. So that works here. 1 times 3 gives me 3. Here 4 times 3 gives me 12, and 5 times 3 gives me 15. So yes, the rule is that I'm going to multiply times 3. So this expression would be 3 times n. Now let's look at the second input-output table. Here our variable is w. What is happening to w for us to get the output? What am I doing here? So remember, it has to remain consistent. So here to go from 6 to 4, I would have to subtract 2. Now, if it works for all of these other pair of input-output, then that is my rule. So 7 minus 2 gives me 5, so that works there. And 8 minus 2 gives me 6. So this expression is w minus 2. Now let's test our understanding. I want you to write an expression for the word phrase 34 less than k. Is it A, B, C, or D? The correct answer, D. Read about it, teach you older math that